Hey, this is Dr. Firnhaber, and as you know, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another 10 minutes of truth. Today we're going to talk about how certain toxins damage the body and what we can do about it. So my talk today is 7 ways that plastics damage the body and the things that we can do. So we live in a place that's, we live in a time where just plastics are all around us. Probably the #1 pollutant in the human body. As you know, they make things flexible and durable, and they're in items that you would not consider normally to have plastics, like pesticides, some detergents, cosmetics, medications, or even your shampoo. They're found everywhere, and we can't avoid them. So plasticizers are over 10,000 to 1,000,000 times higher in our bodies than they are in the environment. Unfortunately, in the body, these plastics do a lot of damage. So let's look at the ways they damage the body, and then let's look at the ways that we can detoxify. #1 is they damage the chemistry of fatty acids, particularly DHA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid, and this is fundamental in making all the cell membranes in our body. These fatty acids are the foundation of brain health, including memory and recall. Second, phthalates or plastics create zinc deficiency, which compromise the metabolism of vitamin A and vitamin B6. This in turn can lead to depression, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and accelerated aging. When you compromise zinc and DHEA, that will lead to inflammation in the body. And we know that inflammation is a cornerstone of just about every disease out there. Plastics are found to be responsible for damaging the pancreas and leading to diabetes and metabolic syndrome. Phthalates have been found to lower sulfation. So sulfation is really, really important in the detoxification processes of the body. So when you have too much plastic in your body, you can't detoxify anymore, and this leads to a whole host of issues. Phthalates damage hormone function, especially thyroid and testosterone. And a lot of the reasons that we have testosterone issues in men, and all these clinics are popping up all over the place, and the reason that men are having lower levels of testosterone is because we have so much plastic in our environment, and testosterone is especially vulnerable to plasticizers. Plasticizers can poison the metabolism of cholesterol, so they can cause high cholesterol, at the same time keeping cholesterol from forming neurotransmitters in the brain. And in cholesterol, our brains are made up partially of cholesterol, and they help form neurotransmitters. And so plastics keep that from happening. The last thing is that plastics can damage the body's ability to make catalase. And catalase is absolutely essential to stop the metastasis of cancer in the body. And so plasticizers damage catalase. So now that this is enough to make anybody depressed. So now let's talk about the ways that the ways that we can detoxify plastic. First of all, we can measure the amount of plastics you're storing in your body through a test that we have from Great Plains Lab called the GPL toxicity test. So if you want to find out if you have an overabundance of plastic in your body being stored and possibly causing these things, is a way that we can test for that. It's a urine test. So how do we detoxify? Well, one way is you can take specific supplements that help your body detoxify. The primary one that we have is the standard process cruciferous complete supplement. It's a whole food product which contains powdered cruciferous vegetables, which contain a chemical called indo-3-carbinol, which helps detoxify plastics. The second thing is to have 2 or more servings of cruciferous or Berkshire vegetables a day to ramp up the detoxification of plastics. So that includes cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, radishes, watercress, arugula, turnips, collard greens, kale, rutabaga, and more. A third way is to use a far infrared sauna, which detoxifies you from the inside out. So you want to try and cut down on the amount of plastics you're exposed to every day. Now, it's pretty hard to do that, but one of the things you can do, for example, is don't ever heat things in a microwave in plastic. It's not good. Okay? Try and store things in glass rather than plastic. That's another thing that you can do. And so, as much as you can stay away and avoid plastics, and I realize that a lot of the food that we buy is in plastics, and we can't help that, but at least eat a lot of cruciferous vegetables and maybe take a cruciferous supplement to help your body detoxify. So that's all I have for today. You know, if you're interested in doing the toxicity test, we can talk to you more about that. But I hope you've learned some things from today's talk, and I hope that you are more cognizant of trying to get the plastics out of your body. So we'll see you next Wednesday for another 10 Minutes of Truth. See you then.